Hey guys, how you doing today? Like and subscribe for more content. Thanks, enjoy the video, have a good day. Hey guys, what's happening? It's your boy back with some more tokusatsu content. Today we're doing a little bit something different, something I've been having in my mind for a very long time. And that is putting writers in different situations or tokusatsu characters and see if they can come out on top, you know what I mean? Since we're starting with this, we're starting with a character that I've loved for a long time. He's only got one movie and various small cameo appearances. That's Shin from Kamen Rider Shin Prologue. Now, first of all, what can Shin do? Well, Kamen Rider Shin is a young man called Shin Kazamatsuri, a young man who dreamed about being a pro racer when it comes to motocross and motorcycles, right? But was end up being a test subject for his father's unwitting experiment into immunotherapy, creating a better, stronger, faster person. Someone who's immune to disease, sickness, illness, poisons, toxins. Someone who can go around and be the best human being they can be. But here's the bad part, right? Turns out his father's experiments was actually funded by an evil organization, right? That's most likely, shocker. And they wanted to create level 3 cyborg soldiers, super soldiers that would be basically immune to most weaponry in the world right now, and having them be ground troops and shock troopers for the organization to sweep through the entirety of the world later on when they plan to invade and take over everything else. Well then, Shin, my boy, well, he wasn't about that, so he actually fought against the organization throughout the entirety of his movie. Now, what Shin can do, what Shin is capable of when he transforms into Kamen Rider Shin, he's a level 3 cyborg soldier. But to be exact, he's actually not a cyborg. See, what they did to him was merge his cells with new cells, and using immunotherapy and gene splicing, they were able to make his body tougher, stronger, faster, and better, immune to any sickness, any disease, any illness, and also possibly they age slower, and also reinforces his body several times over. In his human state, he's still able to jump over cars and literally rip through like steel doors like it's no problem, and throw chairs at people and knock them out cold, with just one hand. But when he starts transforming into his Shin form, that's the real magic happening here. See, technically, he's actually not a cyborg. He's actually a bioengineered super soldier, because they used him with the cells and also merged grasshopper DNA with him as well, gaining their abilities and becoming something more than human, but also less at the same time. Now, in his Shin form, he is an armored insectoid form that has superhuman strength, speed, durability, agility, and stamina. How he can fight and everything like that is more instinctual and bestial in nature. Here's the thing, right? His whole fighting style is more like a wild animal, but over the course of the movie, it becomes a little bit more controlled, because when he first transforms, it's basically not his doing. It's more of a weird telepathic link thing with another test subject who basically was transforming. But when he actually transforms himself, he's in full control. His fighting style is a lot more like wary beast instead of like wild instinctual beast. Shin is capable of various superhuman feats, also enhanced stamina and super regenerative abilities. When he gets harmed, he's able to regenerate almost instantaneously, and even lethal injuries he's able to go through. When he was literally stabbed through the gut by a cyborg soldier fighting him at the end of the movie, Goshima, right, who was basically a powerful like android being, he was able to literally like just heal directly from being stabbed in the gut by like a 6 to 7 inch long like knife nail that was coming out of the dude's hand, and he was perfectly fine with that. He was slashed in the shoulder, and the shoulder basically just healed up. It just closed up right immediately, right? He also has a weird telepathic communication with other mutants, particularly those of people he's been experimented with too. Like the dude who forced him to change at first in the movie, Onizuka, who was also some kind of weird like grasshopper mutant hybrid, because he went through the same procedure as Shin, except secretly, as well as his unborn son, who essentially still survived his mother's death, and in the womb he was able to telepathically communicate with his father to ask for help and needing help to save him and his mom, as well as survive even when the mom died. Shin is also armed with the high vibration nails and the spine cutters the high vibration nails are his nails, right? That vibrate on a very high frequency, is able to cut through a lot of things. They also exude some kind of weird radiation that is able to harm other mutants and androids especially well. And the spine cutters are the spikes on Shin's forearms that can cut through extremely tough materials, from concrete to metal, like it was like butter, like a hot knife through butter. Now, regarding these weaponry, if they ever break, Shin can just literally regenerate them because it's a natural part of his body. Now, how durable is Shin? Well, he fought against the cyborg soldier Goshima at the end, and Goshima was very strong. Goshima himself was so durable, he took a missile launcher to the face and didn't die from it. He was actually completely fine. And when Goshima was fighting Shin, he was able to harm Shin and actually pierce through his powerful exoskeleton and skin. Meanwhile, Shin was strong enough to literally rip Goshima apart. Like, he ripped his head from his body, spinal Mortal Kombat style as well. Now, at the end of the film, Shin ends up being captured and put in a helicopter, right? And a bazooka blast then hits the helicopter, and the helicopter crashes with Shin in it into a several story building. The several story building then hyper explodes. Shin was able to survive that building level explosion, a large building level explosion, right? And be perfectly unharmed, possibly due to his high durability and regeneration. And then he was able to literally go into the sewers with his girlfriend's dead body and their unborn child and literally escape from there. We never really got to see anything more of Shin after that movie. Sparse cameos here and there, but like nothing truly canon now, ever since the movie anyway. Now, that's all about Shin. Now let's see his opponents. Who will be fighting right now? If you see the title on the video, he's fighting some horror movie slashers, because Kamen Rider Shin Prologue is basically a horror movie slasher movie, except for the fact that Shin is the monster, but turns out he's not really the slasher, but technically is at the same time due to weird telepathic connections. It's really weird. But anyway, his opponent first would be Ghostface from every single Scream movie. Now, how would Ghostface do in all this? They do very poorly. They'll be killed by Shin like almost near instantly. Like, okay, seriously here? You take every single Ghostface from every Scream movie using all the weaponry they have, the guns, the knives, and the trickery, everything like that, the fake blood, even coming back like momentarily to basically kill them, right? Shin would wreck them. They're normal human beings with psycho strength and the will to live. That's about it, right? And even them trying to fool Shin's heightened senses, he would be able to tell they're alive and still double kill them because they're going after him. Especially any Scream killer, right? Any Ghostface would die. Even like the best of them, which is like one of the best was the recent movies where he basically went to that store with a shotgun and started shooting people. Yeah, all of them are destroyed. All of them are screwed. Shin would literally cut through them like a hot knife through butter, and he wouldn't even be damaged by anything. He'd be shot and then he'd either instantly regenerate from it or literally does nothing at all to him. Shin's next opponent is actually someone a little bit more competent. It's Michael Myers from the Halloween film. Now, Michael's a very interesting case because of the fact that he's supernaturally enhanced, supernatural strength and durability and like possibly senses and regeneration. It's not really known. He can take a lot of hits. Michael Myers throughout all the films, right? He's literally like, he's been shot, stabbed, electrocuted, blown up, like in a hospital. He's been roundhouse kicked by, a really cool rapper dude. He's been technically decapitated, but it actually wasn't Michael Myers. Turned out it was a dude that Michael put in his mask to fool his sister. But you get what I'm saying. In one of the latest movies, he literally took a hometown beatdown from all the residents in the town. They beat him up with knives, bats, like everything, beating the crap out of him, stabbing the crap out of him. And he literally just took a 30-second siesta and got back up and then killed all of them. He is unbelievably strong. He's able to pin a person to a wall with a single knife. That is not physically possible. So yes, he does have some supernatural powers. He's able to lug a tombstone all the way and then put it on like that bed area in the first movie to scare the crap out of like Laurie Strode and all those people. He's able to throw people like off of him, like not badly, you know what I mean? Just like he has easy time with it. Yeah, he was kind of weak in the last film, but that's because of the fact that this man has been like mooking in the goddamn sewer for a long time, so everyone would be weak from all that weird ass like sewer water. See, the funny part is Michael Myers still has some weaknesses. He can be drugged because he's been drugged before in the recent films, and then basically like he shakes it off later on, but he can still be drugged temporarily, I guess, especially with that crazy psychologist who puts on his mask later on. But then like Michael's still a human being. Supernaturally enhanced, yes. A killing machine, yes. Invincible, hell no. Shin would literally tear him apart. He can't even harm Shin in the first place. What he got? A knife? What he got? His like bare hands? A tire iron? Well, he got nothing, bro. He don't even use guns. Like Shin will be able to tear through him like, you know, a small child with wet tissue paper. Okay, that stuff will disintegrate right in front of him. Using his high vibration nails, he will literally rend Michael Myers in like pieces and then rip his head off just to make sure. He's going to smash his head in and destroy his heart. Most likely, he can tell if he's still alive. And if he isn't, he's just going to go double stomp on his ass until he's fully dead. Heck, the spine cutters would do more of a job against Michael Myers because he'd use that to basically cut his head off and then destroy him again. So anything Michael Myers does to him, Shin can tank and go against, and he'll be able to actually just kill him outright. Eventually, maybe in a couple minutes. Next up on the chopping block is Art from the Terrifier movies. That scary ass clown, man. That dude scared the crap out of me for such a long time until I watched the movies, and I'm not so scared anymore. But yeah, he's a freaky ass clown, bro, who just kills for no reason or just to have fun. Now, Art the Clown is interesting and special because of the fact that he's slightly enhanced with his psycho strength, as well as the fact that he actually uses like any other weapon around, you know, chainsaws, guns, knives, you name it. He uses any weapon around, but he won't be able to do any lasting damage against Shin. Shin will literally just rip him apart. But here's the funny thing. When Shin rips him apart, that's when the fun starts, because, you know, Art the Clown has that weird demonic like resurrection regeneration thing, right? He can be resurrected by the demon. And here's the thing. What will Shin do against the demon? Like, yeah, he has some weird telepathic connection to other mutants, right? But that's it. He has no magical abilities. Yes, he exudes some kind of weird, like, super cutting radiation from his fingernails and high vibration speeds, but that's about it. You know, like I don't know what he's gonna do against that demon. It's just gonna resurrect Art the Clown again, and then like Shin's just gonna rip him apart again. So it's literally just gonna be a war of attrition until Art the Clown lives up. Okay, so like Shin will keep killing him, but nothing Art does to him will kill Shin. But there's a chance though, like, can the demon possess Shin? Can it even do that? I don't even know. Because it's possessed other victims before. It possessed the freaking, what's the name? The girl from the first movie in Terrifier 1. It possessed her, and then she was able to basically become the helper for Art the Clown in the later films. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that here. But like, ultimately, I don't really see any other way that Art can actually even kill Shin. Shin would just rip him apart, and then Art will later on be like resurrected again, right? Unless Shin murder stomps his entire body and destroys it, and then possibly destroys the demon. But like, that's a very interesting thought to have. But Shin would have a little bit of a time fighting Art, even more so than Michael Myers, but he'd ultimately win, for now anyway. Last but certainly not least, we have Jason Mother effin' Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. Now, Jason's a very special case because there's various versions of Jason. Human Jason, yes, would get killed by Shin right away. Zombie Jason, now we got a fight on our hands, because Zombie Jason is no longer bound by human Jason's like freaky human strength. Now he has undead super strength, and this man is so strong he can punch heads off entire people, like in part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan. He also has the ability to tank powerful blows from a psychokinetic psychic girl from, I think it was like part 6, or no, it was part 7, where he basically got super wrecked by that psychic girl. Whenever she threw at him, he basically tore through, eventually dragging his ass to the bottom of the lake by her dead father's ghost that might or may not be a psychic projection from her psyche. Anyway, oh, and also like Tommy Jarvis, who basically killed him like a little bit temporarily, put him in a weird ass supernatural coma at the end of 6, But also Tommy did revive him with that lightning bolt strike, so there you go. But like, yeah, Zombie Jason would actually be more of a threat to Shin because of the fact that Shin can't really put him down. And Zombie Jason is strong. Like, he can go through concrete strong. He can fold people apart and rip them apart, levels of strong. I say he's at Shin's strength level, honestly, like when they're fighting each other. Right? Especially if you count to the fact that, like, Zombie Jason from part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, where you find out that, you know, Zombie Jason, when he's destroyed, he has a little demon thing heart that basically hypnotizes people and then makes them wanting to, you know, eat it. And then he takes the host and then he becomes weird zombie host Jason, then trying to get birthed into his new weird body form again, mask and all and overalls. It's a very weird movie, part 9, Jason Goes to Hell. It's a very weird movie. But yeah, but here's the thing. Above Zombie Jason, there is the Jason X canon, where Jason has powerful, weird, undead super regeneration. He's some kind of weird mutant, right? That's both dead and alive. He has powerful regenerative abilities. This is why he's able to survive all this crap, right? Instead of that weird demonic heart stuff that he may or may not be powered by the Necronomicon. That may or may not be canon, okay? But then, like, this Jason, right, gets upgraded to you-know-who. The man, the myth, the legend, Uber Jason, who is now a cybernetic zombie who has the ability to literally tear apart androids with one punch. By the way, he punched the android's head off like he did in part 8, except this is a superhuman android that was able to literally hyper destroy him with guns and firearms moments before, right? Before he transformed into Uber Jason. And then now he's able to punch through a hull of a spaceship with brute strength. He is literally bulletproof, merged with spaceship metal to make him Uber Jason, all right? He survived a part of a spaceship explosion, right? And then started jettisoning all the way to the escape ship that all the other victims were trying to get on. And the only reason why he was not able to catch up to them, because of the fact that, one, he was eventually diverted by a heroic sacrifice by one of the main crew. And two, you know, Uber Jason can't fly. He just floats and uses the momentum of the explosion. But yet Uber Jason's a problem, right? And his machete has become like Uber machete. Like, he would be able to kill Shin. I have a feeling he was able to cut through Shin, no problem. This man can survive a partial spaceship explosion. Not even partial, entire spaceship explosion. I'm sorry. And then he survives several minutes of re-entry into a planet. His mask survived re-entry and then landed in the lake, right? And if it's to be believed, because he has advanced regeneration, maybe his cells can regenerate from him again. Maybe not sure. But he did survive several minutes of freaking goddamn atmospheric burning up when he was literally landing onto the planet into the lake, okay? He still survived a spaceship exploding and then him being jettisoned into space toward the escape ship. Like, Uber Jason's a problem. And plus, because of his powerful regenerative abilities, as well as his supernatural strength and durability, now enhanced by cybernetics, I don't know how Shin can win, because now he's actually like 2 or 3 times more Shin's level. The cyborg Goshima that Shin fought, right, was only like a fraction of Uber Jason's strength. I personally think that Uber Jason takes it when he fights against Kamen Rider Shin, right? And anybody who basically says that, oh, dude, what about the crossovers where Kamen Rider Shin fights against several blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the thing. They're crossovers. And also, Shin doesn't fight against opponents that he can't take. Like, he doesn't fight against, like, super gods that can, like, destroy entire, like, cities, man. Or, you know, people who can literally, rip apart space-time. Or people who punch through spaceship hulls, survive entire spaceship explosions. He doesn't have that, all right? I'm sorry, but Uber Jason is going to kill Shin. Human Jason gets killed by Shin. Zombie Jason gets killed by Shin eventually. But Uber Jason, bro, Jason X created the strongest Jason, right? And he's able to, like, he's gonna kill Shin, bro. Even if Shin has regenerative abilities, Uber Jason will eventually kill him, right? Either that or they'll take out each other somehow, and then, like, there'll be some kind of weird, like, spaceship explosion, and then Shin gets away, but so does Uber Jason. But I personally believe Uber Jason takes this win and actually kills Kamen Rider Shin. Well, that's about it, folks. Shin clears most of the board except for Uber Jason, who is actually a little bit too much for him, okay? If we got a sequel to Shin, maybe he would evolve and gain more abilities to fight against Uber Jason, you know? Like, maybe Shin would survive some kind of nuclear explosion that destroys an entire city. Heck, maybe even a Shin, like, miniseries is like 13 episodes dealing with, like, Shin after the events of the movie. But yeah, that's about it, folks. Thanks very much for watching the video. Like and subscribe for more content, and also hit that notification bell so you can basically know whenever I'm dropping a video. Thanks, guys, and enjoy your day, alright? Have a good one.